Yo, what's good, YouTube? Today I'm gonna be telling y'all how I locked in for the SAT in only 7 days. So this is a true story, bro. I only had 1 week to study for the SAT. So let's get straight into it. The first tip I'm gonna tell y'all, you gotta remove all limiting beliefs. So I always hear people, they're always saying, oh, I can't get that SAT score, only smart people can do that. Bro, it's all cap, bro. Like the SAT is there's like a system to the SAT, and when you learn that system, you're gonna be able to answer questions just like that, just easy, bro. So it's more about understanding the questions than it is being super duper smart, and you just gotta put the work in. So that's the first step. Just remove all limiting beliefs, bro. Whatever you think that you can't get, bro, remove all limiting beliefs. Like I need you to be like, yo, I'm finna get 1600 is the max score, I'm finna get over a 1600. And once your mindset is there, then you gonna be there. Because if you don't have your mindset already there, you're not gonna be able to score that high. Like you can only go as high as you put yourself as, bro. So don't think of yourself as dumb, don't think of yourself as nothing, bro. It doesn't matter where you start, bro. All you need to do is remove all your limiting beliefs. So boom, the second step, what I did, you want to search up your top colleges, and you want to search up the 75th percentile SAT score, and that's gonna give you like a baseline of where you're trying to hit. Then also, if there's any scholarships in your area, you definitely want to see what their SAT requirements are. For example, in Florida, the Bright Futures requirement, I think it's like 1330 if you want to get 100% covered. There's different ones though, so just look into scholarships, look into your school, and see. You gotta find like a goal of like, I need this SAT score, you know what I'm saying? So I was getting questions too, what is my SAT score? My PSAT, I had around 1100. So sophomore year, I only scored 1100. That's not really good, that's not even close to what I needed. So junior year, when I decided like I want to go to college, I looked up the 75th percentile scholarships, all of that, and basically I realized, okay, if I want to go to college and not be in crazy debt and everything, I need to score 1330 at least on my SAT. So for all my, you know what I'm saying, try hards out there, y'all might be able to get that first try without even studying, which is good for y'all. Like I want y'all to push, bro, get as best as you can. But for me, you got to remember the PSAT I took, I only got 1100. So I started realizing that I'm like, okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna register for the SAT, and I'm gonna take a month to study. But what happened is, right, like when I was about to register for the SAT, I got an email from my school saying we're taking the SAT in school next week. So I'm like, whoa, like I only got 1 week now to do it. Now obviously if I didn't hit my goal, I could have just retook the SAT, so I wasn't stressing about it. You don't want to stress about it, but you want to find your goal of like what you need. That way you're not just going blind, just taking the test just to see how high you can get. You need to know what your goal is, because you're gonna have to measure it. So that brings me into the next step. So the first thing I did, bro, I found out we was gonna take the test. I got home, bro, and I just set like an hour or two aside, bro, and I pulled a blue book and I took a practice test, because I wanted to, basically, you got to evaluate yourself. You got to see your starting point, where you're at before you're about to start practicing. That way you can see if you're making improvements, what you need to improve. So make sure you get blue book and you take a practice test. It doesn't really matter which one. They have a whole bunch of different ones. You take one practice test, just put some time to the side, and you need to just measure where you're at. So I took the first practice test and I got a 1200. So that's obviously over 100 points off from what I needed. I only had 1 week to get right. So I was like, okay, bro, I gotta lock in. I gotta see what am I struggling on. So after you take the practice test, it'll tell you what problems you got wrong and why you got them wrong. So I scanned over that real quick. I was like, okay. And I realized for me personally, math is easier for me. Reading is where I struggle at. So when you take that practice test, it'll tell you what areas that you did the best on and what areas you did the worst on. So once I seen that, I was like, okay, I'm finna watch as much as SAT YouTube videos as I can, bro. I started watching a whole bunch of reading tips, but they have to be dedicated to SAT, because SAT has a certain way they grade their stuff, and you just want to make sure that you're doing it that way. You're gonna get the highest score possible. And math too, Desmos is so many hacks on Desmos. So what y'all can do, join my community in the description. If y'all want to see the videos I use, just hit me and I got y'all, link y'all some videos. But it's not that hard. You just search up SAT Desmos hacks or SAT reading hacks. So boom, day one, I took the practice test. The next day, I didn't take a practice test, but I spent the day reviewing my missed questions and reviewing those topics, like reading, like even just chilling on my bed, just watching some videos, trying to get better, because I knew I had a goal that I'm trying to hit. So then the third day, I just did the same thing. I was just looking up videos, Basically, like anything that I really was struggling with that I knew for sure, like, bruh, I don't understand this, I was just searching it up and I was just getting practice. Now, I didn't want to take too many practice tests because the practice tests are long, so it's like you gotta sit there and really take it. If you're just taking a practice test every day with no sort of mission, you're just taking tests just to take tests. So you take the first one and you just study. So I was really just researching a lot of reading and SAT rules for the reading questions, and it helped me a lot. Then I'll say the fourth day is when I really like looked into the Desmos tips. Like, if you think you know how to use Desmos, bro, I'm telling you, there's probably some tips that you didn't know. So I'll definitely still just look into it. I learned some things off of Desmos that got me some free points. And the fifth day, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a test. I did a little bit of review. I put another like 2 hours to the side. I took the practice test. Literally over just watching, I'm telling you, just watching, spamming YouTube videos. I'm not gonna lie, spamming YouTube videos and actually doing like the work. Literally after doing that, I scored a 1300. So off of that, I already improved my score by 100 just by looking up basic things, bro. Like, it's the most simplest things that's gonna boost your score. So I boosted my score by 100. I was like, okay, that's good, but that's not 1330. I'm still kind of far away. So then basically 2 days before the test, I took one more practice test, and I told myself this is gonna be my last one, because you don't want to take a test the day, you don't want to take a practice test the day before the test. Like, you're just overworking your brain for no reason, I'm not gonna lie. So 2 days before the test, I took my final practice test and I got a 1340. So I'm telling you, spam YouTube videos, that's all you got to do, and practice little questions here and there, and you're gonna get yourself right. So 2 days before the test, I got a 1330 on the practice test. So it was like, I really didn't know how to feel because I needed 1330. I'm getting a 1330 on the practice test. Like, that's not really perfect, but it's not bad. It's like, I got it on the dot, but that's a practice test. When I take the actual test, who knows like what's gonna happen, if my test score is gonna drop. Like, I had no idea. So boom, day before the test, got home from school, didn't take no nap, did some more review again, everything I was like just a little bit struggling on, making sure I really understood it. And then then went to sleep, woke up for the SAT. Again, I was not stressed. You cannot go into the SAT stressed. I was not stressed. I was confident in myself. I really was trying to get a 1600, you know what I'm saying? So then I took the test. I was kind of confident, but I had to wait a month. I had to wait a month to get my scores, bro, which like really was like the most nerve-wracking. Like, I didn't know how to feel. I didn't want to be disappointed when I seen my scores, but again, I didn't want to stress about it. Don't stress about it, because you can most likely just take it again. So finally I get my scores. I'm scrolling super slow, bro, because I'm like, bro, I don't even know if I passed. Bruh, I got a 1360. So again, I'm not trying to go to Harvard or nothing, but this was a perfect first score for me. Like, I didn't have to super score. For the college I went to go to, it was perfect. So that was my scores, and I did get accepted into the college I want to get into with off one test. So believe in yourself, set your goal, aim higher than your goal, spam YouTube videos, or also whatever helps you learn faster. But definitely take a practice test and just learn off of that. And I'm making these videos for y'all not just cause like I'm the smartest school person. I just know that if I was able to do that in a week, if y'all even just put a month to the side, bro, I promise you could probably get like a 1600. Like, honestly, like, I know if I had a month instead of a week, I think I could have got at least a 1500. It all depends on your goals. A good SAT score, again, search up the 75th percentile, look at scholarships around you, and that's really all you got to aim for. You don't got to be an overachiever, you don't got to be a perfectionist. Just do your best, and somebody's best is somebody else's worst. Your worst is somebody else's best. Like, don't stress out too much about it. Really, all you got to do is just try. You could never fail if you just try in life. And I hope y'all did take something from this. If y'all have any more questions, just let me know. If y'all want to know the videos I was watching, I can do that. I'm gonna make some more videos too. I'm gonna leave my stuff in the description if y'all want to go check that out. And I hope y'all have a good one. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.